Welcome to the Truth Club, the podcast where two best friends have a good laugh and possibly a cry about the things that matter and the things that don't. You're now a Truth Club VIP with an access all areas pass to our honest opinions. So here they are. Oh, and we're your hosts, Carly Smallman, that's me, and my comedy wife, Alyssa Kyria.
This podcast is recorded on Zoom, as we can't be in the same room as each other because of lockdown. So the sound may be a bit crap at times, but hopefully you'll forgive us for that, as we will be so hilarious and entertaining.
Welcome to the Truth Club. Welcome. This is episode 2. Woo woo! I'm Alyssa Kyria, and this lovely lady.
Carly Smallman.
Yeah, she is. We're not in the same room.
name.
We're on Zoom, so that's why we couldn't be flawless with that intro. But welcome to episode 2, Truth Club members. We're so excited. If anyone's listening.
If anyone's listening, I mean, even my own mother doesn't watch all of my online content. So if anyone's listening, hi, mum.
Absolutely. Hi, mum. Yeah, my mum sometimes says, that was lovely, darling, but it's not comedy, is it? So that's nice. So hopefully,
burn.
Hopefully that's not good. The reaction.
Your mum should rap battle. What a fucking burn.
She's hardcore. But yes, we are so excited to be back. And today's episode is the truth about dogs.
Before we chat about dogs,
Yes.
wifey woo, Alyssa, my love, highlights and lowlights of the week. What's your highlight been?
Highlights and lowlights.
Okay, yes. So my highlight this week was Lola, my 5-year-old, went to stay over at my mum's house one night this week.
Amazing.
Freedom. That was amazing. Yeah. I drank lots of wine and watched Married at First Sight as a little continuation from last week there. Anyone else started watching it because of this podcast?
Me.
Yes, see? One new addicted Married at First Sight watcher. Well done, Carly. So I did that. That was my highlight. My low light was today, actually, and it's quite in keeping with this topic. The dog ate my yoga mat.
No.
My favourite.
The whole mat.
Like, well, I mean, it's just got massive chunks chewed out. It's disgusting.
God.
And I love that mat. My sister got it for me for Christmas. It's a really thick, amazing, lovely yoga mat. And I've been doing loads of sort of meditation stuff over lockdown. I cried. I was really
I'm not surprised.
Really,
I think that's really reason to cry right now.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this podcast.
This is just let's rename this The Truth About Alyssa's Rage.
My rage about my yoga mat. So that was me. And over to you, Carly Smallman, highlights and lowlights.
Well, my highlight of the week, obviously being in lockdown, highlights a strong word.
Sure, it is strong.
But it was very similar to yours, actually. I cleaned my whole flat. That was not the highlight, by the way, because I fucking hate cleaning. But I cleaned the whole flat, like to the point where I was like wiping the skirting boards.
Wow.
Like, not that anyone's coming over here, but I just felt like I was fed up of living in a hovel. Like It was starting to look like, you know, when someone starts to badly fall apart and you show up in the house and you feel worried, but like it's not bad enough for you to say anything yet. My house was looking that way.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I did that, and then I drank a bottle of wine, and I watched Married at First Sight Australia. Yes. That was also my highlight.
Similar highlights. Got to get involved with the show, guys.
It's really great.
Sponsored by them. That would be amazing.
Oh my God, I'd go on it. It looks brilliant. It's like the dream.
You heard it here first.
And then
everyone.
My low light of the week was I was standing outside a sandwich shop. My friend had got in to get us sandwiches, which was another highlight. All my highlights revolve around food and alcohol now. And it was just really windy and cold. And I was looking into the shop and I felt like an orphan, like from Charles Dickens' novel. Like just looking into the shop at all the food in the wind while I was standing there with 2 dogs who were screaming and crying because they wanted to go into the shop. So
someone would throw you a bread roll out the
yeah, like I was a duck, like just throwing. I was just like someone to throw rolls at me.
Babes, I mean that's pretty dire, isn't it, darling? So yeah, that's a tough week, sweetheart. Tough week for you.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, we just like to keep these up on a really positive note, everyone. So that's why we start with those.
I mean, I was going to say, please give us your feedback if it's too much, but we'll carry on doing it
We're just going
regardless
to
of what
carry
you
on.
think.
We need this. This is our therapy. Just sit and listen to how mental we are, please. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
So-
So dogs have been a big part of lockdown, because obviously the walking outside thing when you have a dog, that is kind of it's your hobby.
That's right. And I think that's why we decided to do this subject, because lots of people are getting dogs over lockdown, and that is why we just decided, let's go for it and do the truth about dogs.
Well, yeah, we tackle the big issues here on this
we
show.
do. Yes,
We're not going
right.
to do like the truth about depression. We'll just be like the truth about dogs. But then here's the thing: people generally love dogs. You and I both own dogs, and because of the way that lockdown's been, I am seeing dogs galore, puppies everywhere. It's like $3,000 a puppy now.
Well, yes, hello, I know this. I am, a lockdown puppy buyer. This is what happened in my house. But that's what, so each of us are coming at this from a different perspective, I think, aren't we, when it comes to dogs? So, Carly, tell us first, I just wanted you to know, just tell our listeners out there tell us about your dog.
This is like my favorite topic of conversation.
I know.
I could talk about him all day. He's actually lying next to me in his basket right now. He's being very cute and well behaved. So my dog's called Indy. He is, I think, a Border Terrier cross. And I got him as a puppy, but he was neglected as a puppy. So when I got him, he had lots of medical issues, and we had to like nurse him back to health. So
Indy.
Yeah, he's a little cutie poo. And he was kind of meant to be my ex-boyfriend's dog, but there was so much care needing doing, and my ex-boyfriend had quite a demanding job, that I was kind of doing it all. And when we broke up, I decided that it was actually my dog, which it was. I mean, he was very much my dog. He would follow me around. I would walk him. I would feed him. And so after that, it was just the two of us. Kind of, I mean, men come and go, but a dog is always there. And yeah, he's honestly, this is going to sound very cheesy, he is my best friend ever. He is wonderful. He is cuddly and snuggly. He's good with kids. He's good with everyone. He's quite he's the king, is the way I would describe it. He is in charge. I often refer to him as my lord. I'm like, oh, sorry, my lord, did I not provide your meat at the correct hour, my lord? Oh, I shall go and chastise myself. But yeah, no, I love having a dog. I love training him. I love taking him out. I love hiking through woods. I love a turn about a park. So I'm coming at this very much from a place of, I love dogs, and I'm the sort of person that if I'm out in a park and I see a puppy, I will be that mad bitch who, even in the height of the pandemic, is like, can I hold your dog? Can I touch your puppy? Can I stroke it? Can I put its mouth in my mouth? I'm that woman.
You're a bit like puppies, how some people are about babies. Would you say?
Yes, I've never been broody for a human baby, only for a dog baby. Yeah, honestly, I've never felt broodiness, but like I do get dog broody for sure. I mean, all the cute puppies that have kind of been around in this past year have been, I mean, giving me some severe dog broodiness. Now, tell me about yours, because obviously I know your lovely Labrador Holly, but she is a lockdown baby.
Yeah, and my story, it could not be more different than yours, I don't think, Carly. So yeah, we got a puppy in lockdown. So my other half, Will, he has always wanted a dog. He grew up with a dog. I was never allowed a dog. I grew up in Egypt. It was just, lots of rabies going on, really. And my mum didn't want a dog there. But she didn't want a dog here anyway. She just likes the house all nice, house all nice and clean, no dogs in the house. So that was that. And but Will did. He loved his dog. I've always said no. My daughter Lola, she's not bothered. She didn't want one. But my stepson Jonathan and Will really wanted a dog. And then at the beginning of lockdown, Will's business all went wrong, and it was just obviously just all rubbish. So he was a bit down, or very down. And I thought, finally, I should cave and allow him to get a dog because he's depressed. So I got a dog because my husband was depressed. And
do you feel like that's kind of what happens when people have a baby, because one of them is sad?
Possibly, yes. And then I think then what happens is then everyone gets depressed because they have a baby or they have a dog. So she's here now, Holly, and we got her when she was 2 months old, and now she's like 11 months old. She's a Labrador, as you said. And I mean, I'm just filled with resentment. I can't really
It's
get.
so funny. I find it so funny because here's the thing: for those of you listening, Alyssa loves dogs. She snuggles my dog.
Yes,
Alyssa likes dogs.
I do like
She
dogs.
just doesn't like her dog that lives in her house
because I think it's
she's
that
a destructive dog.
She's a destructive dog, but also it's that thing of like I like. I don't know, babies. I don't want to have another. I like babies, but I don't want another one in my house. I don't want to live here. But that's the thing. I love your dog, but your dog doesn't live with me, and also your dog doesn't eat everything. To be fair, but also, so I feel bad. I'm talking shit about Holly. Sorry, Holly, if you're listening. I know she's an avid podcast listener. But it's it's literally turned our lives upside down, I find. So I mean, she eats everything. Literally this morning, the yoga mat, I mean, it broke me. I was so upset. This week she's eaten Lola's favorite Christmas jacket that she got from my mum, a jacket for Christmas. And she's eaten an armchair. Just to give you some examples, there's 3 examples. I could go on. And it's not just that, Carls. I mean, we should get into this, because I think I need some help on this. I don't get it. I don't get what, I just think, is it fun to throw a ball for them and they bring it back? Not that she does that, but going forward. What is it, Carls? What is it that I'm missing? Because I can't
well, firstly,
feel
let
it.
me say, all puppies are destructive. So my dog's absolutely tiny. When I first got him, he was like, I mean, he was so small that I was scared I would tread on him and squash him. He was like smaller than a guinea pig. He was absolutely tiny.
Oh gosh, was he?
And yet, at that size, he managed to eat a table leg. I came home and I was living room, there was shit all over the floor, and I was like, oh wow, the table's fallen over, what's happened here? And then I saw it was basically just like the leg had been gnawed away. Another time I came home, this was when I lived with my ex, and we had a masonette, so you'd come up this flight of stairs into the flat, and it looked like it was snowing. There was white sort of snow all over it. I was like, what's going on? India's gotten into a box of tampons.
No.
Yeah, they were everywhere. I was finding tampon around the house 6 months later. So I think they're all naughty.
They're all like that. Yeah. Okay.
They're all a bit like that. But I mean, for me, the appeal is I love snuggling them. I just find them so adorable. I like how happy they are. They're like they've got a positive energy, which I love.
That's true.
True. And I do love throwing the ball for him. It's a bit like sometimes, but then I feel this way sometimes about children. Sometimes I'll see people doing stuff with their kids, and like their kid might be really shit at the thing. So the only example I have of this is like when I've taken my niece to dancing, and some of the children, you just sort of think, I don't really know why you're here. You lack rhythm. But they're there because they're having a nice time and they're enjoying it.
Yes.
So and that's the thing with the ball throwing. Did you get kids like that in that class?
Yeah, I mean there was a couple, the talent of a chair really. Might put a chair, but then that was the ones. Those are the kids who always had the most pushy mums. Like, why haven't you cast Violet as the queen? It's like, because Violet is horrific. Violet's drama. Absolutely talentless. You can't say that. Be like, you know what? I think Violet is so suited to the part of villager number 7 that really will bring out the best in Violet. Years
ago, I used to teach guitar, and I would go like round to people's houses. This was when I was first doing stand-up, and I needed some extra money, and I was teaching the guitar to children. And I will never forget. There was this one kid. I mean, it was shocking. We had been doing basically the same lesson for a year and a half, and you couldn't do it. And it's the only time I've ever said to someone's mum, I was like, "Look," I said, "You're really wasting your money." And I didn't know how else to phrase it. I was like, you've been paying me to do the same lesson for like a year and a half, and there's no progress. I said, I just think you may as well save your money and find her something that she enjoys, that she's good at. Because obviously she wasn't even really having that nice of a time. It was just me always bitching at her, being like, why haven't you practiced?
You had to do it. You had to say it, babe. I mean, a year and a half, that's ridiculous.
I had to say it. Yeah,
So
it was
okay,
silly.
so the enjoyment for you is the snuggling and the throwing the ball. Yeah. Oh God,
Yeah,
Carly.
and the going outside in
And the
nature,
going
the
out. No,
vitamin
that is
D.
good.
Have
That
you
is good.
enjoyed that?
I have a bit.
Have you?
Have a bit. But then I don't. I'd rather be on my own, I think. without,
Yeah, but
without the
that's the thing.
dog
You
there.
don't go for a walk in nature on your own. When was the last time you went wandering around the woods alone?
Well,
I
funny you
thought
should
you were.
ask.
I could tell from your expression. I thought you were going to give me an actual like answer, like a date. Like
I did do it in first lockdown. Actually, I went for a little moochy wooch in the woods on my own, and I'm thinking about doing it today actually because I just need to get out of this house and
that's a
away
great
from
idea.
people. But yeah, you're
I'll
right.
come meet
You're
you after
right.
the podcast.
I was going to say, actually, do you fancy? But yeah, no, you're right. And going out in nature is really good. We've had some really lovely family walks with her as well, and running around. And she is super cute. She's really dopey, and she's just like, hello, like she comes and sees you all happy because you've
Yeah.
just walked in the room. And but I'm just not feeling the love. I don't know if anyone out there can relate to this. I'm sure there's lots of people can relate to you loving your dog so much because people seem to. I mean, I meet dog people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dog people are, because I feel like an imposter when I take her out for a walk and I meet other dog owners, like you probably, who are like
Some of
so in
them.
love with their dogs. And I just feel like,
I'm in love with all dogs. I'm like that with
oh,
like
yeah,
every dog. Like
yeah.
I want to kiss and
Well, you
cuddle all
fit
the
in, you'll
dogs.
fit in down the parks with these people
But
because
no,
I
you
feel like an
say that.
imposter.
No, babe, you always feel like an imposter. You say that. Like I'm either happy to talk to them, but then a lot of the time they're all there like first thing in the morning, all sprightly, looking wonderful. And I'm there hungover to fuck, wearing a pair of sunglasses and headphones, hoping that no one will like make eye contact with me or speak to me. Yeah, I mean, you do get, there are little dog walking communities, but in the past I have found them to be quite bitchy, cliquey.
Really?
Yeah.
You
I
judge
mean,
like, is it like parents? You judge each other like dogs,
yes.
like they do children, and parenting, dog parenting skills.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like there's so one woman who is a neighbor of mine, she decided that it was too expensive to go to the groomers. So she took a pair of hair clippers to her, I think it's a cockapoo. And
Oh.
honestly, and she shaved the whole dog apart from the head. It looked like it looked like a refugee. It looked really it looked dreadful. And then everyone down the park judged her. I mean, I thought it was hilarious because that's my sense of humor, seeing a dog with a gigantic head and a skinny naked body running around. It was great. It was the best thing I saw.
Was she
for a long
getting judged
while.
in like doggy WhatsApp groups?
Yeah, you even get judged for co-sleeping with your dog. You can't talk about it in the park. I'm not joking.
But
Because
probably unlike parenting, they judge people who do breastfeed their dogs.
But it's got antibodies in it.
It's the best thing for him.
Breast is best.
So I'm going to ask you a controversial question, Carly now. And
exciting!
Because he's basically like your son, so you won't want to answer this. But what don't you like about having a dog? Ooh.
Oh wow, that's really that's interesting.
And I bet you're scared to say it because you
like...
think he can understand you because he's in the room, isn't he? So
yeah, I actually believe my dog can understand English. I believe this. I know I sound mental. I always think maybe that's why no one wants to fuck me, is because like I'll go on dates and then I'll bring a guy back to my house. I'm like, she can understand every word you're saying.
Oh, I'm sure they've really turned them on.
I think you're going to say, no, I'm sure it's not that. It's just your personality.
No, I would never say that.
No, you wouldn't. It's so funny.
So yeah,
I don't like, so he vomits a lot. I've got quite a vomity dog. I think it's from when he was neglected as a puppy and he like couldn't hold food down because they hadn't really fed him properly, but he's really vommy and he pukes quite easily. I don't like having to get up and go out into pouring rain for walks in the morning. I find that a struggle, and I don't have a garden, so every day I have to get up, get dressed, and go outside, whatever the weather. No matter how hungover I am, even if I've done like smashed loads of coke the night before and I'm gonna come down, I have to go outside with the dog and
Coca-Cola we're talking about, obviously, everybody.
Yeah.
the drink. That's right. Exactly. Yeah, and what
How
about
about you? What I was going to say, but what do you love about having a dog? Do you love anything? Is there anything?
uh, uh, I'd say love might be too strong a word, Carl.
Okay.
I
Like?
I think I do like sometimes going for a nice walk. I do like that.
Okay, that's the end of that section. Cool.
It's just I can do the don't like one if loads if you want to
Okay,
ask
yeah,
me that
go
one.
on. Yeah, what's the don't like one?
Well, I mean,
See, the
so
destruction of property is big.
destruction of
That is big.
property. We have a garden and we have two, I think, lacks with her. We just let her kind of come in and out. So I have to open and close the door all the time, or she just leaves it open. And so it's freezing. She chews these bones, and there's just bits of old bone everywhere. Whenever I go to sit on my sofa, there's a bit of old bone on it.
Yeah, but I have old bone all over the house.
Hey,
Like,
I know, that's just your ex-boyfriend.
oh yeah, but you know what I think it is? I think it's like sorry, this has gone very like Buddhist and Zen. I think it's your perception of having old bone everywhere rather than the old bone itself. Because I'm
Right,
not too
nice.
fussed
I need to
about
embrace
it.
the old bone.
Well, you just have to think like there's gonna be old bones around
There's
my
gonna be old
house.
bone. Yeah,
And like
yeah.
and
Okay.
the hair actually, there's so
Hair.
much hair. That's about and my hair falls out quite a lot too. So I just live in a very hairy
Me
environment.
too.
Just
I
got some old
molt a lot
dead
as well.
hair.
Yeah, that's why the hair doesn't bother me because I'm used to molting anyway. I've got
Oh, well,
hair
that's
everywhere.
good.
Hair
But your dog
everywhere.
is quite tricky. The first time I met your dog as a puppy, she bit me in the face.
I know she did. Yeah, she bit Carly in the face. Literally bit her in the face.
And everyone was like, oh, what's Elisa's puppy like? I saw you put a picture of her on Instagram. And I was like, she's really nice. But I felt like, one of these like women who like gets hit by someone and they can't admit
beaten.
it
Yes,
because I
you
love
don't want to
dogs so
say,
much.
and they won't
No.
believe you. The cute
They,
puppy, who will believe you? Like cute
well,
puppy bit you in
exactly.
the face.
But also, I'm like known as like loving dogs. I can't be like the dog bit me in the face. Like I want people to think I'm a dog whisperer.
That you're a dog person, not a dog whisperer, like Caesar Milan.
Yeah. But just like less cruel.
Yeah, and less sort of pushing your groin into faces of dogs. That's how he
Well,
stands.
yeah, I don't like when he does that. I do push him into the face of some very lucky individuals, but they're generally
you
huge.
do.
Yeah,
That's
I do.
right.
I'm always that's how I tame them.
It is, and it's how you dance. I've seen as well. So
Well,
so many.
Just thrusting and thrusting.
Away. Oh, I've thought of a couple of other nice things.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Let me know.
It makes my husband and my stepson happy. She makes them happy, so that's nice. They have definitely
really nice.
they love having a dog. So that does make, because I love them, so if they love her, so that's nice. That makes me happy. It's a very selfless point, but it's still there.
Yeah. Anything else or
no, that was the only thing that I
that was the only one. Yeah. That's good.
I'm trying to feel the love, Carly. I just don't feel it.
No, I think that's fine. You actually feel like full resentment, don't you?
I do. I think it's also because, and I suspected this before we got her, and I should have said no, but I thought that I would fall in love with her. So I thought, because I am quite soppy and lovely.
You're very soppy and snuggly.
I'm soppy and snuggly and loving. So
do you snuggle with her?
I do. Yeah, no, I do sometimes. Yeah, I do. But I'm not fit. Even then, like I don't mind a snuggle, but then I think, oh God, you're a bit smelly.
Oh yeah, they do fucking stink.
They stink. So yeah, I'm not really feeling the snuggling either, but I just thought I'd feel the love. But I did suspect this might happen. What has happened is I feel like it's another thing for me to look after, and I think especially in lockdown, so I'm here, I'm homeschooling, I'm making lunches and dinners, and then I've got to make sure the dog's all right, and I've got to make sure that she's taken out for walks, and it's also like if my husband's taking her for a walk, then I'm looking after Lola more, and it's things like that. So I think having a dog come into a family when it's lockdown, and just maybe even just generally, I don't know, it's a lot of looking after.
It is a lot.
And maybe it's because she's quite a sort of bouncy, excitable Labrador as well. I don't know, she's quite.
But you know what? Maybe that's why I feel so close with my dog. So he was still little when me and my ex-boyfriend broke up, and then I became very, very badly depressed, like not just from the breakup, but a series of unfortunate events happened that really got me very down. And the only thing that I could on a lot of days do was I could get up and take the dog out. It might take me hours to actually do, but I was doing that, and I was gigging. And I feel like I owe like part of my, it sounds so cheesy, but like part of my survival to my dog.
I love that.
Yeah, he if I didn't have him, if he'd stayed with his cunt father, then you know, I wouldn't have had anything
Carly's
to get
moved
up
on
for.
from her feelings about her ex, obviously, as you can tell everybody.
Totally fine, and open to a new relationship if anyone wants to be called a cunt on a future podcast.
That could be you, listener. We'll give you the address to write into at the end of the show.
To write in, exciting. But yeah, I feel like I owe him a lot of my mental health, regardless of what's been going on. And even with this lockdown, the thing I have really loved is the routine of taking him out. And also, this may be different for me because I don't have children, but I also enjoy that I must put someone else first. So no matter how shit I feel, no matter how my mental health may be, whether it's up or down, it doesn't matter. I still have someone that I have to put above myself, which because I feel like I naturally want to be quite a selfish person because it's more fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but I think you're right, that lovely care that you have for Indy and that you had to give Indy even when you were really down after breaking up with your ex, that was something you had to do. And I think it then actually made you care for yourself as well, because you're like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm being a dog mom.
You have a human child, that's what I'm saying. So you have a human child, so your care goes obviously into somebody anyway, rather than you know, having to go into the dog.
Exactly. And said human child, Lola. So Lola didn't want a dog. And Will and Jonathan said to her, if we get a dog, you can have this Barbie, this one that she wanted. Dreadful parenting.
They really tricked her as well, because that's such a shitty bribe. Like, they didn't offer her anything useful or good. Like, I mean, I love Barbies. As we know, I have got a couple of Barbies still as an adult. Again, that's why I'm single. But, you know, it's a really shitty bribe. Like, give her something good.
Well, it is. But she did love, she loved that particular Barbie. But they didn't realise that Lola never forgets. And so now she's not really bonded with Holly that much. And now she always brings out, you know, most days, I never wanted a dog. You just tricked me with a Barbie. And she says it all the time. When we're trying to get her to go out for a walk, anything. She's like, well, I never even wanted a dog. I only wanted the Barbie. So that's what I'm dealing with as well. I'm dealing with Lola's resentment.
Yeah, but Lola's not like a country girl. This is the other thing with your daughter that makes me laugh. So like when we've gone on dog walks, Lola just gives up halfway around and she's just like, I'm cold. This is boring and shit. And I want to say to her, it is boring and shit. We know it's cold and boring and shit, but the dogs must be walked. But you can't like reason with a tiny little human in that way. You just have to go, come on, let's go. Part of me wants to agree with her. Like, yeah,
it's
I know.
True. But it's good for her. And you're right. She's not like a country girl, whatever that is, but she needs to come out with the dog. And that is actually one other thing I do like about it, because Lola does get lots and lots of attention, and she doesn't go out and about as much as she should, because I'm not really a woodland mum either. So it's made me more of a woodland mum and her more of a woodland girl, which is good.
So you are kind of changing your tune about your dog in a way.
There are certain things that I like about it. Definitely like the walks, and what else did I say? The fact that my husband loves her.
What other lies did I tell in the podcast?
So many things.
What is the worst thing that your dog has eaten?
I'm gonna go with that's a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the armchair, because I love that armchair. It's a fucking armchair. They're really expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it was quite a new armchair.
It was brand new. And now all four of us and Holly have to sit on this 3-seater sofa.
Also,
we're really squished.
Your house is full of cages, which I find really funny. So they're trying to like cordon the dog off for various things. But when you go into Lisa's house, it's just full of cages.
Oh, stop talking about my bedroom like that.
Oh, yay. But yeah, like you either have to be in the cage, or the dog goes in the cage, or your Christmas tree was in a cage.
It was in a cage.
The house of cages. But I've never had to cage my home, so maybe that's why I'm more enthusiastic. But then I think they're like, again, I'm likening dogs with children. Sometimes you luck out, and sometimes you get like a bit of a shit one.
Well, God,
Really
I mean,
awful.
according to the rest of my family, she's amazing. And she, apart from that, she eats everything. She is very sweet. She's very good with Lola.
She is lovely, and I've had some wonderful snuggles with her before.
You've had
Actually,
it, yeah. And she's not aggressive. She's just a bit stupid. She eats everything, but she is sweet. Oh, I feel guilty. Oh, God, more guilt. But what's the worst thing that Indy's ever eaten?
Well, I was going to put this actually in my truth and lie section.
Oh, okay. So we
but
have got to that point actually.
Well,
so
no, because now you know what it is. Because I've
yeah.
just said
So now I know that's the truth.
I'll tell you what, you do a truth and lie on this one, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Okay, the worst thing my dog has ever eaten was a used condom used by his cunt father. And we had sex, obviously, because there was a used condom around. So we had sex, and then afterwards we were like, "Where's the condom?" And then we were like, "Where's the condom gone?" Anyway, we left it out of our heads. We were like, "Oh well, the condom's gone. Like, what can we do?" 3 days later, I'm in the park, and Indy was like struggling to poo, and he was in like some distress and in pain, and like there were other people in the park, and I was like, "What is that? What is that coming out of his bum?" And in front of an audience, like some kind of sick fucking magician, I pulled a used condom from my dog's bumhole, knowing full well that it was not a random used condom from the park, that it was my personal used condom. And it was oh man, it was embarrassing. It was super embarrassing. And people were going like, is that? And I was going, I don't know where he found that. He must have eaten it off the floor. But in my head, I'm like, oh my God, like, I feel like in a way, like he was like, it felt kind of sick in a way, like we were his parents and involving him in like our sexcapades. It felt kind of sick, and then the condom out, and it was still full of jizz. It was awful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was awful. That's the worst thing he's ever eaten.
I think that might be the best story I've ever heard in my life. I think that is amazing. I'm going to make a call. I'm not going to do a true or false, because mine's were nonsense compared to that story. That is the best story, and we need to end on that, because
end on a high.
End on a high with your dog shitting out a used condom full of cum. Oh my God! Yeah. With people watching and judging you for your involving your dog in your sex campaign.
Yeah. I felt like I had a threesome somehow. I felt dirty.
Hilarious. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's just so brilliant. When we release this podcast, please, listeners, can you tell us the worst things that your dog have eaten, and try and beat Kylie? But I just don't think you will.
I don't think they will. It was really a low point in my life, and it did make me question everything. And I have to say, I feel like anyone who's thinking about getting a dog and has now listened to this is not going to get a dog. I feel like that's
you had some lovely positive things. You did then end with a horrific story about a condom eating, but generally, I think we've given a balanced perspective on dogs. From both sides, both quite extreme.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one though, because often a lot of new podcasts will go into the deep and big topics. But I'm really glad that we spoke about dogs, because I mean, I could talk about dogs all fucking day. I love them.
Oh, exactly. And I could moan about dogs all fucking day. So between the two of us, we've got those two pillars covered.
We've got this covered.
Well, that has been the truth about dogs, everybody. We hope that you enjoyed our podcast. We are back next week with
yeah, why not? Let's go back next week.
With another episode. So please join us.
Please join us. We don't know what it's going to be about yet, so we're not even going to tease you.
But it's going to be truthful.
It's going to be really fucking truthful. Let's do like a really hard, like a really let's do a big topic next week.
Shall we?
Yeah.
We could do the truth about babies and being child free. Parenting versus non-parenting one.
Oh yeah, I like that.
You could do that.
No matter what you choose, you will be judged by society. I think I've already summed it up.
Yes, and we now have a song to go with it.
I'll be premiering the full album of my
Child Free versus Having a Child, the musical, by Kylie Smallman. Yeah, we're going to get into that, people.
Yeah, let's do that. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So tune in, parents, non-parents, We're all being judged for whatever choices we make, as Carly says. So tune in and let's get to some honesty about all that shit.
I love it.
So thank you so much for listening, everyone. This has been the Truth Club. I've been Alyssa Kyria.
I've been Kylie Smallman. If you've had a good time, please subscribe to this podcast.
See you later, everyone.
Congratulations! You're now a VIP member of The Truth Club. Join us on Instagram and Facebook at Truth Club Podcast. See you next time.